Welcome to councillors, members of the public and staff, present in person, joining us in line and also watching via YouTube this evening. I declare this meeting of Bayside Council open at 7:01 p.m. Councillors and those present in the chamber are reminded to conduct themselves in a polite and professional manner, keep communication factual and use appropriate language and tone. Council meetings are live streamed and recorded via YouTube. Please therefore treat everyone with dignity, respect and do not use any defamatory or derogatory remarks. Defamation laws do apply to addresses in the public forum. Members of the public that have registered to speak in person will be called for. During the public forum, please proceed to the lectern. Please note speakers will not be able to present material as part of their speaking time. Councillors are reminded of your obligations to conduct yourselves in a professional and respectful manner under the obligations of Council's Code of Meeting Practice in the interest of good governance as we adhere to meeting etiquette. All present are reminded that the YouTube video recording is an official record of Council and will be accessible via YouTube in accordance with the Code of Meeting Practice. No other recordings are permitted and all present should ensure that there are no video recordings, audio recordings or photographs taken. In case of emergency, please follow the instruction of the Council staff, exit via the Town Hall foyer and proceed to the evacuation point. That being said, I would like to begin by acknowledging the Bidjigal clan, the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and work, and also acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. On behalf of Bayside Council, I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I now invite Father Martin Mansell, Parish Priest from St Thomas More Catholic Church, Brighton Les Sands, to open our meeting in prayer.
This is the first time here, so I just want to acknowledge how honoured I am to be invited to share this time with you. All that God has created and sustains, all the events he guides and all human works that are good and have a good purpose, prompt those who believe to praise and bless the Lord with hearts and voices. He's the source and origin of every blessing. By this celebration we proclaim our belief that all things work together for the good of those who fear and love God. We are sure that in all things we must seek the help of the Lord, so that in everything we may do for God's glory. And may Almighty God strengthen us in what we say and do, and remember that we are called to serve, not to be served. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father Mansell. I've received no condolences this evening. Does any councillor have any condolence to put forward? No, thank you, councillors. We have three certificates to present this evening. Firstly, to Mr David King and Mr Richard Carroll, representatives of the Moorfield Bowling Club Grade 5 pennant team. I believe are here tonight. It's my pleasure on behalf of Council to formally recognise and congratulate the Moorfield Bowling Club Grade 5 pennant team on their recent success in winning the Metro South East 24-25 Open Pennant Championship. This is obviously a really fantastic achievement and from a great local club. And your success is certainly something that brings pride to our community, not just to your club, but to the broader Bayside community. So with that being said, I'd like to invite David King and Richard Carroll to please come forward and accept this certificate of congratulations from our council, and any councillors who wish to join, please come forward.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to add a comment, or should I do it after? All good.
Councillor Saravinovsky.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Also, thank you as well for accepting my nomination for a community certificate for Moorfield Grade 5 pennant team. I'd like to obviously begin by offering my warmest congratulations to the Moorfield Grade 5 pennant team on their outstanding victory in the Metro South Bowls 2024-2025 Open Pennant Championship. The competition was held on the 17th and 18th of May this year at Tarrant Point Bowling Club, showcased some truly thrilling matches and none more so than the final, where Moorfield team faced off against Cronulla, what can be only described as a nail-biter. With just one shot separating the teams, Moorfield came on top, clinching a hard-fought and well-deserved win. This incredible victory earned the team place in the New South Wales State Open Pennant Finals held at Mount Lewis Bowling Club in Greenacre from the 27th to the 29th of June. Unfortunately, The team only won one round in the round robin games. They narrowly missed out on progressing to the quarterfinals. But regardless of the outcome, just reaching the state finals is a tremendous accomplishment, one that reflects the skill, determination and sportsmanship of the entire team. Winning a Metro South East Bowls flag is no small feat, considering the small, thriving community Moorfield has. This speaks volumes about the dedication and spirit of everyone involved. Players, coaches and supporters alike. We're extremely proud of what this team has achieved and the way they've represented Moorfield Club and the wider community, especially proving lawn bowls is not only for a sport for seniors, but for all. On behalf of the community and as the Ward 3 councillor, I'm proud that this community certificate has been congratulated to the Moorfield Grade 5 pennant team, is being represented in recognition of your championship win and your outstanding representation at the state level. Here's to another one. Congratulations once again. You've done your club and community proud. Thank you.
You, Councillor Sarabanovsky. Councillors, anything further? Thank you and congratulations again. Next, it's my pleasure to take a moment tonight to recognise Mr Ashok Acharya, getting that correct, for his incredible contribution to aged care in our community. Ashok has served as an enrolled nurse at Scalabrini Village in Bexley for the last 22 years, demonstrating unwavering dedication, compassion and professionalism throughout his career. And I'm sure we'd be all familiar with the great work that Scalabrini Village do as an aged care provider. And over those 22 years, his care has made a meaningful and lasting impact on what I can only imagine must be thousands of residents, their family, as well as all of his colleagues. So on behalf of Bayside Council, I'd like to extend our sincere thanks and congratulations to Ashok. His commitment to the wellbeing and dignity of others has left a really enduring legacy, not just at Scalabrini Village, but across the entire Bexley community. As Ashok enters retirement, we wish him all the best for the years ahead and thank him once again for a remarkable 22 years of service to our community. You're welcome, Councillor Bezic. Thank you again. And just finally, it gives me great pleasure to present our final certificate of congratulations tonight to Mr Ben Irwan, founder, CEO and director of Kingdom Culture Christian School in Arncliffe. Mr Irwan is a dedicated educator, mentor and community leader whose vision for raising tomorrow's leaders through 21st century learning has had a meaningful impact on young people and families across our local area. Under his leadership, Kingdom Culture Christian School has grown into a dynamic and values-based educational institution. And for that, I think we all owe Mr Irwan a great deal of thanks. Beyond education, Mr Irwan has also made significant contributions across our community through his involvement in initiatives such as Focus on the Family Australia, Dads for Kid Fatherhood Foundation and the Arncliffe Community Life Centre. His work reflects a deep commitment to service, inclusion and building strong communities. On behalf of Bayside Council, I'd like to formally recognise Mr Irwan for his outstanding service and lasting contribution to Arncliffe as well as the wider Bayside community, and I'd like to call on Mr Irwan to come forward and receive this certificate of congratulations from Council. And of course any interested councillors. Thank you, councillors. Any discussion? Councillor Saravinovsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, thank you for accepting my nomination for Mr. Irwan. Let me introduce you to someone who wears more hats than most of us can count. He's the recording studio manager, vocalist, keyboardist, composer, producer, running publishing companies and TV ads to radio jingles. But it doesn't stop there. He's passionate about people and families. He's a director at the Focus Family Australia, chairman of the Dads for Kids Fatherhood Foundation, and president of the Arncliffe Community Life Centre, which runs programs to support the local community. He also founded the Sydney Easter Parade and Family Day, which brings together churches from all over and draws huge crowds every year. He's a senior leader at the Life Centre International, a board member of Christian Alliance, and the founder and CEO of Kingdom Culture Christian School, which raises tomorrow's leaders through a fresh, future-focused approach to education. In short, he's someone who brings creativity, purpose, and a heart to everything he does. However, as impressive as this resume is, we are gathered here today to congratulate and recognise his community efforts and the spirit Mr. Irwan possesses, helping others in need and wearing his heart on his sleeve. I had the immense honour of representing the Mayor a few weeks ago at the Kingdom Culture Christian School and for the end-of-term presentation awards. I was truly humbled by the reception I received and the way the school has transformed young, bright kids into to the future our world needs, future leaders our world needs. It is even more personal to me, as this very place I visited, I was made aware it was opened up in 1996 by our beloved Emeritus Mayor Bill Saravinovsky. Mr. Irwan serves as a pastor and delivered an opening prayer in this very chamber. In times of need, he shows up. Especially in a time when you get scrutinised for following faith. I commend the tremendous work you do for yourself, but above all for our community. I'd like to share Philippians 2:15, verse 15, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky. And that truly is what Mr. Irwan is. And on behalf of not only myself as a proud person of faith, more importantly this council as a whole, to admire your incredible work. And I must add, Mr. Irwan does have an album. My personal favourite is I Need You. It's a very good song. But once again, congratulations, and I'm deeply happy that council was able to give you a community certificate for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Saravinovsky. Any further discussion? No, thank you, councillors, and congratulations again to all of our certificate recipients tonight. We now move to apologies, leave of absence and attendance via audio-visual link. I believe we have one apology tonight from Councillor Boudelay. Mover and a seconder for that. Move Councillor Dusku, seconded Councillor Naji. All those in favour, all those against. Declare that carried. And just noting that Councillor Douglas is currently on leave previously granted at the June council meeting. And there are no councillors joining us via audio-visual links tonight. Disclosures of interest. Disclosure from Councillor Kassim. Might just go around the room quickly. Councillor Curry, Morrissey, Councillor Bezic, Councillor Strong, Councillor Kassim. Anything further? Councillor Brederhoff, Councillor Saravinovsky.
Yeah, disclosure of interest for the confidential item for the Rockdale Draft Master Plan. On the basis, I've had family in the past that have held businesses within the vicinity. I'm unaware if there's any more, but it's a significant non-pecuniary interest, and I'll abstain from the chamber when the matter is discussed.
Thank you, Councillor Saravinovsky. Councillor Naji.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On item 13.7, non-pecuniary, less significant interest, on the basis that I own a property and businesses, but there's no way it's going to benefit myself. I have 25 cameras in my shop, but this is only for the benefit of the to improve the community safety. So I will stay in the chamber and vote for it.
Thank you, Councillor Naji. Councillor Dusku. Councillor Rawada. Councillor Barlow. Councillor Poulos. Myself, I have a disclosure in relation to item 13.5, support for the return of the South Sydney Rabbitohs to Allianz Stadium. A significant non-pecuniary interest as I work for the Minister for Sport, who's responsible for Venues New South Wales, and I'll be absenting myself from the chamber for the matter. Minutes of the previous meeting. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Move Councillor Naji, seconded Councillor Strong. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Moving to mayoral minutes. We have 2 mayoral minutes that have been distributed this evening. The first, just a quick acknowledgement of National Tree Day. Just to remind everyone that this is, we'll be celebrating this on Sunday the 27th of July this weekend with a mass planting of native trees at Scarborough Park, and we do note that we're going to look again at moving this out to across the council again, but also I think very significantly that council staff have organised a memorial tree planting of a Macedonian oak in Rockdale Park to honour the victims of the Club Pulse fire in Kazani, North Macedonia, in relation to a previous council motion. So I'd invite everyone to come along and join for that. Councillors, any further discussion? All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. And just finally, the 2025 community grants. Just a reminder to our community that these grants are now open. We'll be distributing up to $100,000 to local groups and organisations for projects and programs that support our local community. These are very small amounts of money that can often go a long way and make a big difference. So I'd encourage all of our local community groups to apply and councillors to get in contact with our local community groups and encourage them to put in for their local projects. Any further discussion, councillors? All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Now move to deal with items by exception. You'd be aware of the public forum items, councillors, which don't need to be pulled out. The items where a division is required as they're planning matters, notice of motion, and items where councillors have a pecuniary and or significant interest will already be dealt with. Councillors, are there any other items you wish to pull out and deal with individually? Councillor Curry.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So 12.2, the minutes of the City Works, just an amendment there. It says I was present, but I wasn't, so just for noting. And the other item I'd like to pull out is from 12.4, the minutes of the Bayside Traffic Committee. It's at the bottom of the page, BTC 25.136, please.
Thank you, Councillor Curry. Councillor Morrissey. Councillor Bezic, Councillor Strong, Councillor Kassim.
Yes, I understand that 12.6 is going to be deferred. If not, I'll just pull it out. So.
Yes. And I believe the incorrect minutes of the Lytham Hall Advisory Committee meeting were published in the business paper, so that item will need to be deferred. So perhaps we can just procedurally add to this that we're also deferring that item from tonight. And while we're at it, Councillor Boudelet has asked that his notice of motion item 13.6 be deferred to a future council meeting as is an apology tonight. So if we can just add that to this motion. Councillor Brederhoft. Councillor Saravinovsky. Councillor Naji.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just looking at the 13.6, as Councillor Boutelet was going to be here, he's fallen sick,
Yeah.
so can we postpone it to
Yeah,
the
so
next
I just
council
said
meeting?
that.
Oh, sorry, okay, I missed it. Thank
All
you.
good.
Thank you.
Councillor Discu. Councillor Awada. Councillor Barlow.
Hang on, I've got 11.3, CPE 25017. Where's the other one? BTC 25.127. It was 12.6, but you've already referred that to be deferred. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Poulos, and nothing from myself. So I have a motion that all other items be passed on bulk. Move Councillor Morrissey, seconded Councillor Kassim. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Now move to the public forum. We have 2 speakers in the public forum tonight. First, dealing with BTC 25.135, Oswald Street, Rockdale, proposed formalisation of bus zone, in which we have 1 speaker, Mr Michael Rostevsky, speaking against the motion. Speakers have 3 minutes to address the council. A warning bell will sound when only 1 minute of speaking time remains. Mr Ristevski.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Committee. Yeah, just in relation to that proposal, I live directly next to that property and that. The problem is with the parking and that in that zone. You've got a lot of granny flats in that area, people with 3 cars, 2 cars and that. And also next door you've got Gardeners Park, which has the soccer fields, you've got soccer training and everything in that. It's going to restrict the parking in that area, and it's affecting me directly because I'll have no parking next to my driveway, and we've got like 3 cars as well to be able to park in that region as well. So with the bus zone, which is very limitedly used, maybe once or twice a month, if anyone wishes to do any kind of survey or research, it's very rarely used. So putting a bus zone in that spot will just restrict a lot of the parking in that area, just around the street itself. That's the main point of interest.
Thank you, Mr Ristevski. Councillors, do I have a mover and a seconder for the motion? Councillor Naji.
Sorry, Mr Mayor. Can I defer this until the next council meeting for interested ward councillors and any other councillors that are interested with the traffic, some of the traffic committee? Because in the past, Councillor Hanna, former Councillor Hanna and Councillor Barlow would acknowledge that being on site and having a look, we will understand the issue a lot more. So if we can do it, it's only a 1 month deferment till the next council meeting, and in between now and next month, if we could have some interested councillors to attend and have a look and see the residents' concerns before we make a decision on this one. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder? Seconded, Councillor Bezic. Can I just ask the staff, have we consulted with local residents on the proposed changes?
Mr Mayor, we did, and there was no objections received.
We've got at least one tonight. Did we go out and say we were planning to do this, or was it asking a question of whether or not we would? Or
Mr Mayor, we send out letters basically outlining what the proposal is and ask people to provide comment if they wish, so that was a letterboxed type consultation.
All right. Well, I think as per Councillor Naji's suggestion, having a site meeting and inviting residents to come out at a convenient time and discuss the matter, I think would be very sensible. Any further discussion,
Just
councillors?
adding to that, Mr Mayor, so to what the residents spoke about not being a really utilised bus stop, can we, prior to that, do some investigation as to what the bus stop is and its use? Because I can't see anything in the original report. Thanks.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Councillors, any further discussion? All right. All those in favour of the motion as put, all those against declare that carried. So thank you, Mr Ristevski. So there will be an on-site meeting organised by council, and that'll be letterboxed out to residents to let them know when that's happening. Thank you. Now move to item 13.7, notice of motion CCTV camera installation in Arncliffe to improve community safety. Speaking in favour of the motion, local resident Jenna Chahane. Ms Chahane.
Good evening. My name is Jenna Chahane, a local Arncliffe resident for over 30 years and a business owner located on Firth Street, Arncliffe. Recently, we've had multiple break-ins into local shops, fire bombings and undesirable activity. There have been 2 fires this year, one at 5 Queen Street, Arncliffe, and one at 30 Firth Street, Arncliffe. The toilet block on Firth Street, Arncliffe is a great amenity. However, it does attract some undesirable activity also, and undesirable people hanging around there. We have children and families passing by this daily to go to the train station and local schools. I would like to request street cameras installed as soon as possible to help reduce crime and help identify criminal activity. CCTV is both a deterrent but also a most important tool for police to solve crimes. That's one of the first things police do straight after a criminal activity has occurred. They they look at local businesses, who's got the cameras, and they go in and try and investigate if they can see any footage. Most of these small businesses on First Street have cameras just to protect their own business, not, taking number plates of cars coming up and down the street and other things that are happening beyond their frontage. So, crime and safety should be paramount. I've been a local resident for over 30 years, and just what's happened in the last 12 months has made me really, emotional about getting these CCTV in place. I mean, every morning we wake up and we hear firebombing here, firebombing there, criminal activity, and unfortunately it is hitting our local community now. So, wanted to really come here and show how important this is for the, locals to show the locals that council is very passionate about solving crime and keeping the community safe. So this has been a major issue, and I'd like to just bring it to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Shaheen. Moved by Councillor Strong. Do we have a seconder? Seconded Councillor Kassim. Councillor Strong.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, it was Jenna Shaheen that brought this to my attention. That's why I put the motion forward. I saw for myself the damage of the burnt-out premises on the corner of Queen and Firth Street. Everyone has the right to feel safe in their neighbourhood, and when local residents are saying there's a problem, I think we have to listen. The motion strikes a balance. It's not calling for blanket surveillance. It calls for engagement with the community to identify where targeted CV might deter crime and assist investigations. It also ensures we explore external funding, including New South Wales Government's community safety funds, so it's not just a cost borne to ratepayers. But we must also stay vigilant about privacy. Any rollout of CCTV must be transparent, accountable and proportionate. Let's gather the evidence, hear from the community and ensure any decision is grounded in equity, effectiveness and care for everyone who calls Arncliffe their home.
Thank you, Councillor Strong.
Cheers.
Councillors, any further discussion? Councillor Naji.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll just be brief as possible. I've lived in Arncliffe all my life. It's called Bardwell Valley now, part of Arncliffe, so it's okay. And Arncliffe is a safe area, except in the last 12 months, as Ms Shaheen has said, that there's been an increase in crime activity, but that's all across the state. Let's talk about Arncliffe. I've been approached by police to assist when they had a drive-by shooting on Wollongong Road, and it's important, those cameras, because police rely on CCTV, security cameras and your phone. So there's been a couple of fire bombings lately, and I encouraged Councillor Strong, because Ms Shaheen emailed Councillor Strong, Councillor Boutile, and that she knew of, and myself and the GM. I think this initiative, and hopefully we can get funding and connect, as a security consultant in the past, it's not that hard to connect one camera from one end in First Street, not more towards protecting and looking at shops, but who's going and coming in the streets, and one on the other end facing back towards the station, and so is Belmore Street, same thing, and it's easily connected to the state rail system, and the police will have access to it at any time and be able to solve any issues or any criminal activities in the future. So that's why I'm supporting Councillor Strong's notice of motion, and I hope my other colleagues will do that too. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Naji. Further discussion? Just noting, Councillor Strong, the General Manager's comment that a community safety forum is being organised, which I understand is in 2 weeks. Perhaps, that's the local police, the South Sydney Chamber of Commerce and our community safety team. Perhaps it would be appropriate that these actions follow on from that once we've had that information feed in. Are you happy with that? Yeah. Can we just add that to the motion, that we know we kick off after it's informed by that? Councillors, all those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Thank you. So that motion's passed and we'll begin the work now. Thank you, Ms Chan. Just noting that that Ms Finlay Jones is joining us tonight. I'd suggest a procedural motion to deal with item 13.4 out of order on the agenda. I've moved Councillor Barlow, seconded
I'll second it.
Councillor Awada. Councillor Naji.
Thank you, Mr
Sorry, do we
Mayor.
have a seconder for the notice of motion? So moved Councillor Naji, seconded Councillor Saravinovsky.
Yep, thank
Councillor
you.
Naji.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor. First, I'd like to acknowledge Miss Jackie Finlay Jones here in the chambers. Thank you, Mr Mayor, again. Tonight, I rise with a heavy heart and a strong sense of duty as I bring forward this motion to landscape and beautify the memorial dedicated to the late Danielle Finlay Jones. Danielle was a cherished member of the Bayside community, a passionate advocate for sport, education and youth development. Her warmth, leadership and generosity left a lasting impact on everyone who had the privilege of knowing her. The memorial at Scarborough Park East at the time, created in consultation with her family and Football St George as a place of remembrance, reflecting and love, deserves more. We can and should do more to honour Danielle's memory in a way that reflects her vibrant spirit. Through native planting, new seeding and signage, we can turn this area into a place of peace and healing for her loved ones and for the broader community, Mr Mayor. It is also important we do not shy away from the truth. Danielle's life was taken in a tragic act of domestic violence. Her death was not only senseless, it was preventable. It left a community shattered and a family forever changed. As councillors, as leaders, and as human beings, we have a responsibility to say clearly that enough is enough. Domestic violence is a plague on society that must be confronted at every level of society, including here, in local government. Beautifying this memorial is just one small act, but it must be accompanied by our commitment to do more, to support awareness, prevention, education and resources that protect women and families in our community. Let Danielle's memorial stand not just as a place of remembrance, but as a symbol of our collective resolve to honour her memory by fighting for a future where no more lives are lost to domestic and family violence. I respectfully ask for your support on this motion. Thank you.
Councillor Naji. Councillor Saravinovsky.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd just like to second it on the basis, I must commend Councillor Naji for bringing this up and touching note. He said it spot on. I'd like to support it on the basis people in my family were really saddened to hear the horrifying tragedy of the passing of Danielle. She never got the chance to experience, getting married, having kids. Her mother, Jackie, may have not gotten the chance to have grandkids from her. Danielle and Jackie had a really deep, special love connection between them two. If you ever had the honour of meeting them, you could see it firsthand. They were, it was really I'm lost for words. They genuinely had such an incredible connection. You could see it from the get-go when you see them. May she rest in peace. She's very deserving of this motion as there is no room for domestic violence with our entire society. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Saravinovsky. Councillors, any further? Councillor Barlow.
I did actually go down to the site to see it and to see what was there. I just spoke to Danielle before, and a lot of it was the fact that it hadn't been weeded and hadn't been controlled properly. I spoke to the Fix-It sisters. We actually have planted nearly all of Kiama around the RSL. They're happy to go down on one of their days and supervise if they want it cleared out. But if it's plantings that you need, which I don't like Lamandra, but that's part of the landscape in that area, I'm happy to actually, out of my allowance, is to donate some money to the council so that we can actually get some plants there that maybe have a little bit more colour. We're a bit restricted where we are because it's in the shade, but it's actually a very nice place, and I feel that it needs to be looked after. And obviously, in the scheme of all the council works, they've forgotten it or something, but there are people that can actually put it on their list to be there and clear it out on a regular basis. So that's what I'm asking for, and I'm happy if council, it's a small budget, I'm happy to add to it.
You, Councillor Barlow. Councillors, anything further? Look, thank you, Councillor Nagy, for bringing this motion. We can obviously do better here, and we should work with Miss Finley Jones's family on how we can improve the memorial. And I just want to say that, you know, this is it's still a deep wound in our community, but it doesn't compare at all to what the family has experienced. So all we can offer our thoughts, and just hope that this won't happen again. Thank you, councillors. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Moving back to item 11.3, progress report on councillor notice of motion. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Move Councillor Barlow, seconded Councillor Awada.
Just that the item I moved, which was the Prime Minister's Walk, has been finalised, but I feel that it should still be ongoing because we're still looking for funding. And if it comes off the list, I feel it will get lost in the system. So I'd prefer it to stay there as a green, not a green dot, just not finalised at the moment, because we've still got to find the funding.
Sure. Thank you, Councillor Barlow. Happy to make that change. Council officers. Yep. Any further discussion? All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Item CPE 25.017, update on New South Wales Housing Delivery Authority. Moved Councillor Barlow, seconded Councillor Brederhoff. Councillor Barlow.
I'm sure I can't even figure out what. This is the Housing Authority. What I'm saying, I know it's to be received and noted, but my concern is, my one issue in my area is the Salvation Army site, which has now gone to the Land Environment Court because the Salvation Army decided to take us to court because it was a deemed refusal. They have now got back that they have been allowed, they've actually lost. They've got a deferred commencement. It was 40 houses, it's now only 32. But in the meantime, they thought, well, I don't know who's advising them. We've decided we'll go to the Housing Authority, and now they want 85 apartments and 60 townhouses. Now, to me, it's already been to a Land Environment Court. There's quite a few problems with the whole site, with contamination, it's the highest part of Bexley North. So I just want to know what happens now. At the moment it's deferred because the Housing Authority, because it was in the courts. So can now the Housing Authority take it over, Delivery Authority take it over, or will they read the Land Environment Court report and make a decision?
Mr. Barlow, asked a question.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The Housing Delivery Authority's role is to review expressions of interest that come to it from developers, and then to provide advice to the Minister for Planning as to whether they should be declared state significant developments. If the Minister accepts that advice and declares them, then those DAs go through the state government's DA process rather than coming to council. So in the case of this site, there was an expression of interest made to the Housing Delivery Authority. They reviewed it and advised the Minister that it should be declared state significant. The Minister deferred making a decision based on the fact that it was actually the subject of proceedings in the Land Environment Court at the time. So those proceedings have now been wrapped up, as you said, and a decision's been made. So we haven't had any further advice whether the Minister will now reconsider his position on whether it should be declared state significant or not. or whether he will look at the court's decision and decide that's the end of the matter. So we won't know until that decision's made and conveyed back to us.
Okay, well, it's a shame that there was 27 apartments there that have been empty for 18 months. They've been empty. They've got people desperate to have somewhere to live. Salvation Army has left them all empty. Some of them, I think, do look very dilapidated. They were along Boundsbury Grove. That was a teaching college, so they were reasonable. So I'm disappointed that the Salvation Army seems to have lost their way in the fact of looking after the people that are less fortunate. I can remember my husband saying they used to come to the Forest Inn every Friday night, this one man, and he'd always give them a donation because they walked into the pub. So I just feel disappointed that if this keeps going ahead and if it goes through, I couldn't imagine 94 apartments on that hill. But anyway, it's the fact that we know it was more the residents are lost. They don't know where they're going and what's happening, and I'm hoping that the Minister will realise the site has got some big problems, especially contamination and overflow, and the trees that could be lost if they tried to fit what they think they could fit on there.
Thank you, Councillor Barlow. Any further discussion? Councillor Naji.
I always like to put my two bobs in, Mr Mayor. I couldn't believe it. Is it right? Did you say, Councillor Barlow, how many places are empty units?
That was
27, roughly. We're not going to worry about 27, 28, 29. I am shocked that they are empty. And I am shocked that New South Wales Housing, NSW Housing, people are struggling to get housing through the system, and they wait and wait and wait. Yet Councillor Barlow identified 27 or 28. We need to make sure, send a signal that all these empty places, they should be filled as soon as possible, whether the Salvation Army is taking care of it or another organisation and that. We need to get people who are in desperate need of housing is to get housing.
You, Councillor Naji. Any further discussion? No. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Item BTC 25.127, Bowood Avenue and Highworth Avenue, Bexley, proposed no stopping zone. Moved Councillor Barlow, seconded Councillor Disco.
Just want to move this for a site meeting. It's a very complicated corner, and so I'd like to move it to have a site meeting so that everyone understands the problems. It's a wide, very off-centred intersection, and now we've got the new academy going to be open there, another childcare centre, and the change in the traffic could be quite dramatic, so I'm moving it for an on-site meeting.
Councillor Barlow. Any further discussion? No. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Item BTC 25.136, proposed car share parking spaces in various locations. Moved Councillor Curry, seconded Councillor Morrissey. Councillor Curry.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Apologies, I wasn't able to make the Traffic Committee, but I acknowledge the proposed car share parking spaces is a good initiative, and I understand the methodology behind it around looking at where a number of members are and choosing spots that connect to that. However, some of the proposed locations here are on quite residential streets where we already have a limited parking issue. So there's 4 particular sites which I would like to have revisited, so that these withdrawn, and then, you know, within that vicinity, but something that doesn't impact directly on our residents. The proposals of these ones, which is Edge Hill Avenue, Botany, Hardy Street, and it should be Mascot, not Botany, Mascot Drive, East Lakes, and Sutherland Street, Mascot. As an example, Sutherland Street, Mascot, the shared parking spot is right out of the front of St Teresa's Catholic Church. Like, it's the most ridiculous place So I think it's, we have to be really conscious that they are in the right spot. So if councillors are supportive, I'd like to withdraw those 4 locations and ask for a report to come back with more appropriate locations that don't directly impact our residents unnecessarily, and look for more main roads where, and near infrastructure too, because some of these, like the one in Botany, there's nothing there. Like you wouldn't, other than, some residential. Thank you.
Just get out the second. This question is for.
I've actually emailed them to Ms Toller, so,
Okay.
yep.
I think Michelle's already on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Councillors, any further discussion?
Yes, please.
Okay, Councillor Morrissey, seconded. Councillors, any further discussion? No. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Move to notice of motion 13.1, report from the General Manager on notice of motion improving compliance with water-sensitive urban design. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Probably deal with this in cognate with item 13.2 perhaps. So moved Councillor Kassim, seconded Councillor Brederhoff. So this is the advice on the item 13.1 is the advice on the notice of motion, item 13.2. So item 13.1 is just receive and note, so maybe speak to item 13.2. Councillor Kassim.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr Mayor, and thank you to council staff for preparing the report. I just thought I should make a bit of a point of clarification with regard to some of the matters raised in the report, because as I indicated at the time that I made the motion, my understanding is, and it remains, that although the system was developed by a private company, it does not in any way undermine competitive procurement. In the first place, it doesn't require specific proprietary monitoring hardware or software systems of council, so there's no competitive advantage given to one company over another in that regard. And secondly, of course, it doesn't mandate in any way the WSID devices of the private developers. They can choose whoever they want to use in order to meet their WSID requirements. Rather, what it provides for is, my understanding is, free templates which can be utilised to assist us, and in fact any council, with our efforts to ensure that the WSID measures which private developers install, of course pursuant to what's been agreed in the development process, to ensure that these are actually maintained and functioning over the long term. So as the staff report indicates, of course council does the right thing, maintains our own assets through our own mechanical sweeping program, the GPTs, and which are jointly measured with SS Rock. What is not clear to me, though, from the report is how we are currently ensuring that there is similar maintenance going on by the non-council owners of assets. Now, my understanding is that Blacktown Council has been implementing a prototype of this WSID framework for over a decade now, and they've been doing so utilising just sort of their standard council procedures and systems. So unless our systems are very different from theirs, I would hope that it wouldn't require a huge adaptation of our system to implement it. That said, if in fact council is not currently monitoring the maintenance of these non-council WSID assets, which is not clear to me from the report, but if it's not doing that, then yes, of course, I acknowledge that this might indeed involve additional compliance costs. Now, if that is the case, then I propose that we make representations to the state government, to the Minister of Environment or Minister of Water, maybe both, seeking cost-sharing arrangements to enable us to properly monitor WSID maintenance. I presume we could levy at least an admin charge for inspections of premises which did not submit proof of regular maintenance. Maybe. I subject to advice on that. But if our monitoring was to result in any EPA charges, as the report indicates, the fine is up to $1 million. And so that would certainly offer some opportunities for cost recovery for the state government anyway, which is why cost sharing might be appropriate. The main point, though, is that, yes, this may cost money to actually monitor compliance, but it is important for our rivers and for the flood-prone communities which could be affected by devices, in fact, not operating properly. And we can't afford those two costs. So, as I say, you know, we're doing the right thing, Council's doing the right thing, but I think it is necessary for us to also ensure that there is proper maintenance being done by everybody else. If we are, in fact, to protect the health of our waterways and, as I say, also minimise the chances and the dangers of flooding. So I would like to, in moving this motion, I would like to add another couple of points. Point 3, that Council report back on existing and planned measures to monitor and enforce maintenance of non-council wizard systems and devices required as part of the development control process. And fourthly, fourth point, that Council make representations to the state government for cost sharing of the compliance cost of this program, if that is necessary.
Councillors, further discussion? Councillor Barlow.
Just to make a comment, I know that I'm on a downward slope, so I get affected by overland flow the whole time. Now, I don't think council even likes the. There is a problem with all of it, and a lot of it is okay. You've got stormwater overflow everywhere, but try and everyone have grass in their backyard and absorb the water instead of it just flowing out everywhere and on the street, and that causes a lot of the problems. So I don't know how you could, the cost and the technicality of going into someone's property to check that they're doing it properly would be, I think, you would have to get the state government to pay, because we've got a lot of the time, we're lucky we haven't had any blackouts lately, but when there's a blackout, they fail, pump-out systems fail. So there's a whole lot of issues there, and I just believe we can look at it, but I think if every house had no concrete and lots of grass and garden beds, you'd have a lot less water coming out on the street.
You, Councillor Barlow. Any further discussion? Councillors, all those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Item 13.3, notice of motion, Jeeves Avenue car park. Move Councillor Nagy, seconded Councillor Saravinovsky. Councillor Nagy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I just would like my colleagues to be a bit patient to the end to see that the intent of this notice of motion. The Jeeves Avenue car park has been shamefully neglected for far too long. I have been on council since 2004. Every term up until now, with different councillors, gone, some still here. With committees, we've had the committees in the past for the Rockdale Town Centre Master Plan. It had on it the before Mr Camper was elected as an MP, we've had the former Emeritus Mayor on the committee, we've had the Chamber of Commerce President on the committee, and we've had respected business owners and other property stakeholders. Even now, I believe we'll probably be discussing in the confidential draft Rockdale Centre Master Plan later. So what I'm trying to say that we have identified that the Jeeves Avenue car park needs to be developed and provide car parking. Because I'm sure most councillors, and if not, I encourage you to take a walk down the highway. Businesses are closing, foot traffic is disappearing, and Rockdale CBD is slowly dying. We need immediate investment in a multi-storey hybrid car park that serves both commuters and local shoppers. This is essential infrastructure next to a major train station and not a luxury. Believe me, it's not a luxury. I became much more aware because I've used to serve 2nd Ward, and because of boundary change, now I represent 3rd Ward. So when I was walking around all of 3rd Ward, identifying the issues, and there was a reel about Jeeves Avenue car park, and I'll get to Councillor Saranovsky in a sec. So people are struggling to access public transport in the morning with no viable parking options. We are failing both the community and the economy. And let me tell you my experience. I bank with Westpac. Councillor Morrissey is smiling. And when I want to park, I go, nothing on the highway, it's all full, turn left, get into the Jeeves car park, again it's full, and I go around and around, and I'm not kidding. I have said, I'll come back another time, and I left. And I've had this problem again and again and again. So there is a struggle. And coming to Councillor Saranovsky, he put a resolution asking for the state government to do something about it, and we did have a correspondence, and I acknowledge Minister Graham's correspondence, but to me, I don't believe it's good enough, because in the correspondence, it says that the state government are reviewing all parking hubs around the stations. All of New South Wales, fair enough, but to me, Jeeves Avenue car park has been long. It doesn't need a review. We know what's the issue. Council have identified it through every process, even reviewing the LEP. In every process that this council, since I've been on 2004, it has recognised, but nothing has happened. So I going to send a signal in this notice of motion, not only to Minister Graham's, but even to our local MP, Mr Camper, and the Premier, to not only that we need to review, but to put the Jeeves car park as a priority from all the other car parking in New South Wales, because it's been far too long. And because there is also what's important, if you look at the Jeeves, who's familiar with it, it looks to serve Kiama, Bryden, St Susie and Ramsgate, where residents come to park and there is no parking. It's a transport interchange that needs to be looked at. So all I'm asking is for a priority and for the Minister to make it as a priority. So Rockdale, finally, Rockdale Town Centre, it does need a future. No more delays. The park is step one. Action must be taken as soon as possible and as practical to bring our city back to life. Seriously, has anyone walked Rockdale? It's dead. It's dying. I hope I get your support.
You, Councillor Naji. Councillors, further discussion? Councillor Brederhoft.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I agree, Councillor Naji. Thank you for putting this up. I just wanted to ask whether we could also add that we advocate for the installation of a secure bike shelter within that parking as well, because similar to Sydenham Station, because that just gives some space for people who like to ride their bike and commute by train. And I also note that, part of the overflow means that residential streets around the area around Rockdale, there's no parking available during the day because people use that as parking for train as well. So back to that, if we could include the installation of a secure bike shelter just to further promote that motion. Thank you.
Councillors Naji and Saranovsky.
Just to clarify before accepting this, you're asking for car parking for bikes like in Sydenham and that. Well, maybe I should start getting a bike and ride from Arncliffe to to Rockdale, that might help. But yeah, no problems with that. Thank you.
Councillors, further discussion? Councillor Barlow.
Well, I suppose I'll quote something. 2002 was when Cogra Ride and Share car park was finally built by Sherry Burton was a local member at the time. Bob Carr opened the car park. It was desperate to have a car park in Cogra. Now, Sherry was our local member and she harassed the estate parlour, or Bob Carr and everyone else, because we needed it, and that's what our local member for Rockdale has to do. And we have to do it, and you can only do it there in government, so there's got to be some money there, and that's how we got the Cogra one. We have been desperate for it because being there at Cogra, there were so many people that worked at the hospital. We had to put 2-hour parking in all the area on the Carlton side of Cogra because of the fact that we couldn't get any parking for the residents. So my suggestion is that you all we harass your local member, and also there is bike at Cogra Station. If you look, there is bike boxes or whatever they're called to stick your bikes in. There's also racks that you can buy too, but there's also ones that maybe they get used. I don't know, but so that is usually part of it. They're on the usually just outside near the stairs. So I think it worked in Cogra. It took a long time, but hopefully it can work in Rockdale. And it's not a big site at Cogra. It's quite tight. I think it ended up 9 stories, but it's a ride and share. Now we've also they've built one at Beverly Hills in Bastion Road, and that's the problem they have, and it's ride and share only. When they changed it, we had a girl that went up to do a shopping at Woolworths, came back with a $30 ticket to get out of the car park because unless you'd used your Opal card, you couldn't get back out. So there's issues there, but whether you can have a couple of levels that are shopkeepers only and the rest is for travellers. But the time is perfect. You've got the right government in power, the right minister is in representing this area, so go for it.
Thank you, Councillor Barlow. Councillors, further discussion? Obviously very timely with everything we're planning around Rockdale. Councillor Naji, did you want to write up reply?
Just very, very quick. The intent, I honestly would say, I'm not politicising this issue, that we need just to send a signal and put the pressure on to make Rockdale a priority. Otherwise, we would really be dead in the town centre. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Naji. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Councillors, we need a procedural motion as the Deputy Chair is absent and I need to absent myself from the chamber. Do I have a motion to put in a replacement chair?
I move that we ask Councillor Awada to chair.
Moved Councillor Curry, seconded Councillor Naji. All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried. Thank you.
Councillors, we're on 13.5, notice of motion support for the return of the South Sydney Rabbitohs to Allianz Stadium, moved by Councillor Curry, seconded by Councillor Morrissey. Councillor Curry.
Thank you. There's a lot of community desire in our area to bring South Sydney back to its back to the area, which in Moore Park, and a number of residents and have written to us to support that, and I even received a letter today from Brent Hill, who is Rabbitoh number 820, also asking for council to support this. So as the motion in front of you, it acknowledges the legacy and the deep roots of the Rabbitohs, and also its contribution to the local community as well, and particularly no child ever pays for anything with the South Juniors in the Rabbitohs build-up, or everything, registration, uniform, everything is included. So it's that real community spirit and connection to the community, and also the large number of people living in our area that go for the Rabbitohs. Acknowledge there's other teams here, and we also share boundaries with St George as well. And so this is just, as you can see from the motion, asking that we write to a number of people who have the opportunity to consider this proposal and consider a future change to bringing South Sydney Rabbitohs back to Allianz Stadium. And I have here my lovely little South bunny, which Councillor Barlow knitted for me. So that's where we're here cheering the bunnies. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Curry. Councillor Morrissey, would you like to add something?
I need just to, it's real tough for, the true loyal fans to get out to Homebush half of the year, 6 months of the year, even to watch opposition games. To go from Botany, where I live in Ward 1, you catch a bus to Redfern Station. Actually goes almost past Redfern Oval, coincidentally, which would have been a great place. But since we've moved out to Homebush, it is just such a difficult place to get to. There's also affordability issues, the transport. To bring it back to very much closer to the heartland is what our community is asking for, and there's people who have the ability to make that happen, and that's where we're seeking their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morrissey. Any other discussion? Councillor?
Hi, I think this is a really good motion. Just wondering, what are the next steps? Who do we have to write to get this over the line?
Well, it's in the motion it's actually in the motion.
The Prime Minister.
No, not the...
Okay, great.
Thank you, Councillor Disco. Any other discussion? Councillor Naji.
Yeah, look, Mr Mayor, I'm a Dragon supporter, that's number one. Number two, I follow the Rabbitohs. So they're my number two choice, and I agree wholeheartedly. And it was sad to see that a decision was made by the Sports Minister to not allow the Rabbitohs to go back to their rounds. And I think I really will support that notice of motion, and it is the right way to do, the right way to go, and the right thing to do for the club. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Naji. Councillor Barlow, did you want to?
Well, I couldn't bring Ruby's coat here, but I did make a red and green dinosaur coat for a very good supporter of the Rabbitohs. Her owners live in Dolls Point. They follow the South and always have. That's why I made this whippet, this beautiful coat. I spoke to her, this lady the other day, and she said she will not go to Olympic Park. She feels intimidated on the train. She said before, when we went to Moore Park, we used to drive out there, we'd have a picnic, we had parking, it was easy, and she's from the St George area. I will admit I have never watched a football game, ever, live. I might have seen it glanced on TV, and I watch cricket and basketball, netball, but I've never ever seen a rugby league game. Well, hate to say this. Sorry? but I understand the way the fans think and the way they should think, and I find it quite amazing that they aren't allowed to go back there. I remember when they fought to get back into the league. I mean, I follow it in a way, especially when I had my business, because I had to talk football to everybody, and things like cricket, whatever. But I feel that it's disappointing that the state government or the minister has decided you can't go there. I feel that it's something that should be supported, and I mean, you've got people on this side. I can walk to St George Stadium, but as I said, I don't follow football. I don't watch it So I believe that this is, hopefully, that they will listen and you get the numbers like you did when you got back into the league all those years ago. I think it was Russell, what his name is, Russell Crowe. But anyway, so it's something that I feel should be done, and hopefully that you succeed.
Thank you, Councillor Barlow. Any other discussion, councillors? If not, all in favour say aye. Against, declare carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll call back the Mayor to the Chair.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Parramatta. Okay, I've never watched going.
I can't believe you haven't watched the debate.
Are they waiting for something, the group of debate?
I don't know what they're there for. What's left?
Should have spoken to the Arncliffe motion. But
We've done the Arncliffe one, we've deferred the legal dumping. There's nothing left. Do you know
Thank you, councillors.
do you know why there are people sitting in the back of the room?
Councillors, are there any questions with notice? No. That being done, there's nothing left on the agenda, so I declare the meeting closed at 8:12 p.m. There you go. We don't need to deal with the confidential unless anyone wanted to pull. Nobody asked to pull it out. Changing a drawing. Thank you, councillors.